Well, they're certainly in the mood in this neck of the woods ahead of kick-off at the CBS Arena. 11 points from the final 7 games. We'll see Coventry City back in the Premier League. Let's get some thoughts now. Key players, Lewis Travis and Carl Rushworth with Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Carl, not long until you return to action then. How much are you looking forward to getting back to it?
Really looking forward to it, and it's an extra little bit, especially being at home in front of the crowd as well. I know that the fans are going to be totally going to be behind us from minute one. I think it's going to be a sellout as well, so it's going to help us massively as well, just get us over the line.
Many would see this as a really tough game tonight, but is it one to relish?
Yeah, I think, listen, over the course of the season we've gone toe-to-toe with the best in this division, so yeah, we're all looking forward to it tonight.
And how key is your role in midfield against Matt Grimes and Frank Onyeka?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously they've got a really good midfield, but they've got really good players all around the pitch, so yeah, it's key for everyone tonight to have a good game and show what we're about.
How are you approaching these last 7 games? You are so close now, aren't you?
Yeah, it's close to the end of the season, but we take each game as it comes. I think that the gaffer and everybody's on the same page of we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot of noise outside, but that's all dependent on if we win the next game and then the next game. So we're taking each game as it comes.
Cool heads needed in a game of this magnitude ahead of kick-off. Both players from either side emphasising just how important this game is. Just 7 games to go. Will it end with Premier League football for Coventry City? Well, 3 points tonight would take a huge step towards that. Derby County, though, of course, with aspirations of their own to maintain pace with the playoff places. Kick-off in this one comes next. Just a few moments away from kick-off. Russell Martin, Curtis Davies, our very special guest here tonight. Now, we've seen Coventry hit the front relatively early on this season, Curtis, and maintain that type of pace. The journey that Derby County have been on has been slightly more slow-burning, but seemingly timing it to perfection.
Yep, timing it to perfection, but listen, after last season just barely staying up, it was obviously massive for them to make sure they finished better than last season. To be in and around the playoffs, they've jumped at it, they've made a really good opportunity of a season where a lot of teams have fallen off, and Derby are one of the teams that could maybe benefit from that. I think they have to come in tonight and try and win. If I'm being honest, I don't think a point's going to be enough. With Wrexham, you know, only drawing today, Southampton yet to play. If they could get a win here and put the cat amongst the pigeons, it'll give them a really good chance to, again, just lay the marker and see where they can go next.
Russell, it's awesome to have you here as a guest, and as ever, all managers, when they're with us, are normally in between jobs. So when you're back at it, you'll be getting all this again, this experience. How does it feel right now? Do you miss it? Seeing the players ready, the fans ready? Does it get the nerves going?
Yeah, and this place at the minute is amazing. You can't hear anything else, to be honest. So it's a great place to play anyway, but the atmosphere right now, you can feel it. You know, the excitement, the expectation. So most of what Coventry have to do now is deal with that and thrive off that and not see it as anything negative, which they seem to be doing brilliantly. But tonight will be a tough game, and definitely gets the juices going again, that's for sure.
The juices are certainly flowing ahead of this one. This is officially now the run-in. Will it end up with Coventry City back in the Premier League after a footballing generation away from the top tier? Derby County, of course, here, as Curtis said, to put the cat amongst the pigeons. Your commentary team for this one at the CBS, Andy Hinchcliffe. First, good evening, Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. Good evening. The final part of the Good Friday trilogy. And it's time to bring on the Championship leaders, the Premier League club in waiting, for whom the waiting is almost over. Coventry City haven't been amongst English football's A-listers since just after the millennium. English football's elite is waiting to welcome them home. 11 points will see them home. Derby County are the Championship's disruptors in chief. They don't read other scripts, they write their own. And Derby County have got their own promotion dream to take care of. Unexpected, but this is the league where the seemingly impossible is possible. To the teams, and the rigours of international duty mean that Frank Lampard has had to change things around for Coventry City. Romain Esse starts in place of Efron at Mason Clark, who suffered World Cup heartbreak with Jamaica during the international break. Mason Clark is on the bench. Joe Latabodiere was also away with Jamaica. He misses out completely, so Liam Kitching starts in the back four. Alice Sims leads the attack with Hadji Wright fit enough to be on the bench, and the bench is where Jack Redoni finds himself. He's fit, a real boost for Coventry, but there's no Brandon Thomas-Asante. Derby County have suffered another major injury blow, with Rhian Brewster ruled out for the season after undergoing knee surgery. Jayden Bennell starts in that left-sided role tonight. Patrick Adjumang arrived back from international duty from the USA on Wednesday night, so he's not ready to start. Carlton Morris starts up front instead. Adjumang is amongst the substitutes. Sammy Smodix misses out after being injured during international duty. Derby's squad is stretched. 3 teenagers are on the bench. Well, Andy, Coventry have got threats all over the pitch. How important has it been that they've spread the goals around this season?
Well, attacking variety has been a key feature of their season. Sakamoto, one of 7 players to have scored 5 or more championship goals. He's mainly considered a supply line, but he's chipped in with some important goals recently, and that's nudging Coventry ever closer to the Premier League. And Derby's playoff push has been built on away form, although they really have struggled against higher-ranked teams. So can tonight's attacking changes in Bennell and Morris help them beat the best? It'd be some story if they do. 19 teams have tried, only Ipswich and Southampton have left here victorious.
Well, Frank Lampard came within 1 game of taking Derby County back to the Premier League. Now he's 1 month away from taking Coventry City back to the top tier. 11 points will do it and give this city its biggest party in almost 40 years. And they know how to party here, and they know how to make it a grand occasion here. It is a soundtrack that could well be filling the air in the Premier League in the months to come. This city are ready, these supporters are ready. Can these players finish the job? John Eustace knows this city inside out. He was part of the Coventry City squad that was relegated from the Premier League 25 years ago. He's still got a soft spot for Coventry, but no time for sentiment tonight. Here's Derby County, have got their own promotion tale to possibly write. Easter weekend, 2 games in 4 days when everything can change. Hold your nerve or buckle. Contenders continue, pretenders crumble. Coventry City, 11 points from the Premier League. Derby County starting the night just behind those who occupy the playoff places. But Derby have been hit by that injury to Rhian Brewster, the injury to Sammy Smodix. But Derby tend to roll with the punches.
I think it has been a frustrating 2-week wait for both sides. Both have been in brilliant form. Yes, both are missing key players. Let's see whether the international break has kind of broken the momentum that both these sides have built up before they had to stop.
Some atmosphere inside the Coventry Building Society Arena again here tonight. As Coventry City look to swat away another challenger on their home territory.
I'd expect Coventry to start on the front foot with the crowd right behind them. So for Derby, first 10-15 minutes, do not concede.
There's Kitching. So making the dash forward, matched all the way by Ward. And the referee, who is Tom Niels, signals a corner kick.
That's really good work by Esse. Of course, they're applauding his effort there. The important thing was for Esse, don't foul your man, put him under pressure, force him to give a cheap set piece away.
And we know set pieces have been key for Coventry City, more so in the first half of the season. Derby haven't been too bad from them either, but they've got some defending to do here, Derby County, as Bobby Thomas makes his way forward. The scorer when these two met on the second weekend of the season, that chaotic 5-3 win for Coventry. Derby have dealt with that set piece and smashed away by Ward. Also trying to stand his ground, but there's an opportunity here. Great block from Clark, doing what Clark does at the back for Derby County. And then Merkin getting involved as well, and Derby survived the penalty appeals, which came more from the Coventry supporters than the players. Walton Diaz kind of burst forward and get Derby County up the pitch.
Yeah, Derby looking to pound the counter-attack. That might be the way they have to play for the first period of the game. There's a great block from Matt Clark from the strike from Essay. There's maybe a slight nudge in his back. He's certainly not shoved to the ground. I think the fact he's jumped as well, it makes that touch look worse. This is Clark getting across, reading the danger. Magnificent block.
He's having a fabulous season at the back for Derby County, is Matt Clark.
Yeah, Matt Clark is someone who likes the ball at his feet. He can play out from the back, as we saw there. Loves to defend. That's his first job.
They're now looking to get involved for Derby. Clark in combat with Sims, and Clark gets to it. There's Romain Esse. And for Mason Clark tonight, as we mentioned in the team news, Mason Clark has been away with Jamaica. Both he and Joel Lativodier did have complicated flights back on international duty. Lativodier not involved at all. There's Travis. Ward making his way forward, but seen off.
Some great work off the ball there from Derby, stepping onto Coventry, forcing the goalkeeper to kick long. Matt Clark picked off the ball on the halfway line. Derby back in possession, came from that press, that great press.
They have been terrific away from home so far this season. 9 away wins. The question has been, can they do it? A team who are at the top end of the championship away from home. Eustace will back his Derby players, back his game plan every day of the week.
Struggle at Pride Park. They're a team that don't dominate the ball, so if you don't dominate the ball, I think you're probably better suited to away games.
Just started to turn that home form around with 4 successive wins at Pride Park. And here, Derby looking to make an impact on Coventry territory. Ward with the cross, and Rushworth gets to it. Away from Van Eyck. Back here for the first time since they lost here to Southampton. All eyes were on how they would respond to that defeat, their first since their mid-season wobble. And the response was emphatic. A 3-0 win at Swansea, albeit Swansea did have chances and play well that particular day too. Andrew King admits that particular day he got his first promotion tingle. To bounce back immediately, just so no doubt started to creep in.
It's key attributes if you're going to be successful in any league, certainly in the Championship. Yes, you have to be a good side, but you need resilience, belief, and time and again this season, Coventry have bounced back from defeats quite brilliantly.
Very special for him too to face Derby County. Derby gave him his first shot at management. He almost repaid them by taking them back to the Premier League, but they fell at the final hurdle in the playoffs, beaten by Aston Villa. And after that came the call from Chelsea. And the ball has stayed in. Derby were hesitant there for a second. Bennell the target here. Trying to get away from Van Eyck. Here's Jayden Bennell again. Good chance for him tonight, and Van Eyck steps across his path. Sanderson with eyes on this, and will carry through to Richard O'Donnell.
I've been impressed with Derby's start here. They've been positive. I talked about belief for Coventry. Belief is vital for Derby this evening. You can't go into a game like this thinking you're really going to struggle. Man for man, they're probably not as good a side as Coventry, but if you believe as a team, you can give them problems, you can make it happen, and they've started well.
Bobby Clark picking up the pieces here. Bobby Clark on the move. Seen off initially by Thomas. And then it was Thomas's Centre-back partner, Kitching, who did the rest. Once again, Bobby Clark showing his versatility tonight for Derby County, playing higher up the pitch. And O'Donnell gets down to.
Bobby Clark can play in a variety of midfield positions. With that injury to Sammy Smodics, he's been asked to play as more of an attacking midfielder, and he can go and join the play when it goes up to Carlton Morris. But then, how quickly Coventry comes sweeping down the other end. It's a poor cross in the end. When that ball goes into Carlton Morris, you've got a supporting midfielder in Bobby Clark. Really good defensive concentration there from Bobby Thomas. And doesn't go diving in, he watches the ball, stays on his feet, makes a good block. I just mentioned the strong Derby start, this really illustrates it. The crowd behind them, brilliant home record. Expect Coventry to be pommelling Derby in the opening few minutes. It hasn't been that way as Derby have taken the game really impressively to Coventry.
Goes Derry Merkin, a January signing from Utrecht, who's really made an impact attacking-wise for Derby in that left-back position. His best friend is Mickey van der Ven. There's Clark. Andy doesn't have best friends.
I don't have any friends.
Yeah. Put the cross in, stick it away. There's Clark. To frustrate Brayton Diaz. He had some international trip just to Auckland. And Brayton Diaz to play for Chile in a couple of games.
Just think of the air miles though.
I'm sure he's well looked after.
Just looking at the function of this Derby side, I think look at that central midfield pairing, Lewis Travis, David Ozo. Absolutely vital, those two play really efficiently as a pair, because they're up against Onyeka and Grimes, two of those influential midfielders in the championships. That's a key area, key battle in the game.
Yeah, a tasty looking midfield matchup. So important to Coventry since arriving in the winter window. Really good partnership with Matt Grimes at the heart of the Coventry midfield, and just taking a bit of pressure off Matt Grimes as well. Sakamoto. Nichols sticking out a boot. Here's Sims being hunted down by Sanderson. He gets away from Sanderson. Here's Sims seen off by Brayton Diaz. Carlton Morris. There's Bobby Clark. Played out wide, he's played as one of the midfield pivots, and once again operating in that number 10 role tonight for Derby. Bobby Clark, she's operated in more than a few times this season under John Eustace. Eccles the target here. Sims will try and pounce onto that. Coventry get the free kick for the foul on Eccles.
Well, the referee tried to play the advantage. Was clattered into there. Josh Eccles just talked about Bobby Clark supporting the central striker from a midfield position. Josh Eccles has to do the same thing for Coventry. Break and get into that forward line. Just gets a whack there. He is fouled.
It would mean the world to him to take his hometown club back to the top division. Josh Eccles.
If Derby do maintain with this high defensive line right at the edge of the penalty area, with Grimes over the ball with that wonderful left foot, sure he's just going to feel that ball into that space in between that Derby defensive line and the goalkeeper.
Grimes ready to do just that. That's the signal from the Coventry skipper. Is being watched by Morris just on the edge of the Derby box. Thomas drops and then makes a run for it now. It's Matt Clark who gets to it. Remain SA. Merkin. Onyeka showing what he's all about. Esse. Onyeka continues his run. This place explodes with joy. Familiar soundtrack, familiar feeling. And there might not be a more popular goal scorer here right now. Frank Onyeka is in the hearts of Coventry City fans.
It's a hammer blow for Derby. They started the game so well. There has to be question marks over the goalkeeper. I'm not sure he should be beaten by this shot, but Onyeka, I think, really showcases his talents here. He's aggressive to win the ball back. But just look what he does when he lays it off. Does he stand and watch? No, he goes and supports. He offers himself up for the forward pass, and then he whips the shot in. Just the goalkeeper, for me, just seems to have completely misjudged it. But credit on Onyeka, getting into a good position, testing the goalkeeper, who doesn't have the answer. And for a team that have started the game well in Derby, they must be devastated, because the first really serious threat on their goal, and the ball has ended up in the back of the net.
Frank Lampard edging closer. Richard O'Donnell beaten by that Frank Onyeka effort. Onyeka's first goal for Coventry City. I mentioned just seconds before, Frank Onyeka was mainly doing Frank Onyeka things in terms of winning the ball back. But then he smashed home his first goal for Coventry City, albeit questions asked of the keeper. It's not just about promotion now for Coventry City. Supporters are singing about winning the league. Going up in style. And right now, they have a 12-point gap between themselves and third position.
Yeah, you look at the positivity from Onyeka with his goal, but he can do that. He can step forward. He's got Matt Grimes, who offers that insurance in central midfield. That they're playing as a pair at times, but when the ball is won back, well, he's given licence to break forward, because Grimes will always sit deep and help out defensively if the ball is lost.
This team with eyes on that final playoff position, starting now 4 points behind Wrexham. Derby County well ahead of schedule to be even in the conversation about top six right now. Plan for this season is just to stay away from trouble, consolidate, and then try and attack the top six next season.
I think John Eustace, again, wherever he's been at this level, he's done an extraordinary job. He gets, more out of his team than you would expect. And again, he's just such a good coach at this level. Players respond to him, they respect him. Again, Derby sees it's no surprise to me that they've done what they've done, because they've got John Eustace at the helm, but he'll be disappointed with the start they make to be a goal down.
There is a coach who just improves players. He does it time after time. May even have had a chance with you.
Come on, he's a good coach. He's not a miracle worker.
But right now, he's looking for his Derby County team to respond, having fallen behind here to that Frank Onyeka goal.
Here's the point I made before kick-off, this attacking variety that Coventry have. You look at the players in the starting 11, you wouldn't have picked Onyeka as the first goal scorer. They've got 4 or 5 other players that you probably expect to get the first goal, but that's the problem you get when you face Coventry.
They come again. Sakamoto making that dash in from the right. Clark deals with it. The Silva tries to get there. In the end, Richard O'Donnell with that one.
It's a goal worth seeing again. Just the aggression to win the ball back, and then the willingness to break forward. He whips that ball in. I just wonder, does the goalkeeper need to go with his left hand for this? Could he possibly save it if he jumps and sticks out his right hand? Does he make it a more difficult save going with his left? He just seems to misjudge it, but give Onyeka a lot of credit for making it happen.
He enjoyed it. Off the head of Romain Esse. Sims wins that duel that time with Clark. Merkin has lost out here. Sakamoto. Looks to chop back inside, but Clark gets to it.
That's a good response from Merkin. He made the mistake, but he redeemed himself. He got back goal side very quickly, and he slowed Sakamoto down. You make the mistake. It's poor decision-making there, but quick he is to get back goal side and stay on his feet. It doesn't give Sakamoto a sight of goal.
Coventry did score from a long throw-in when these two met at Pride Park earlier this season. A long throw-in from Milan van Ewijk, and he's winding up here to try and deliver again. Off the head of Derry Merkin. Nice touch from Clark. Breton Diaz. It's down by Romain Esse. Very happy with what he saw as Esse is told to get back to his feet. Sakamoto will get to that. Up against Derry Merkin again here. Merkin goes to ground. There goes Sakamoto once more. Onyeka looks to shoot by the fans. Slightly ambitious from that angle. There's Van Ewijk.
Derby really have to count these errors they're making in their own half. You can't keep gifting the ball to such a dangerous attacking team. You'll get punished again.
Sakamoto, Van Ewijk again. Sakamoto once again in combat here with Derry Merkin. And the throwing goes the way of Derby. And the supporters here at the CBS Arena paying tribute to 18-year-old Paul Pike, the Birmingham City fan who passed away last week after going to watch his beloved Birmingham City at Derby County. And both Derby County and Coventry City supporters paying tribute to Paul. Clark. Bennell. It's Kitching. Clark gets his head on that one. Eccles stretching forward and was caught. Travis the aggressor.
Defensively, had so many problems when he played against Coventry. So many attacking talents, different types of attackers in different areas, and also the way that Coventry play. Yes, they can put 20 passes together. At times they play from back to front very quickly, you know, get it towards Sims, then play off him. So they do mix up their attacking game, which defensively you just don't want.
Well, they do seem to have every tool in the box right now, Coventry City, in terms of winning games, opening teams up, which is why they lead the way. Which is why, as it stands, they're just weeks away from returning to the Premier League. Eccles with the free kick that time, and there was a free header for Kitching in the midst of all that.
It's a difficult header to make because you're jumping into Derby defenders, trying to get a really strong forehead on it, head it back across goal. Just kind of glances off his forehead. Difficult chance.
Yeah, it was Bobby Thomas who was there just above Kitching. Eccles involved again. As Coventry looks to close in again. Onyeka. Grounded Eccles in the end, no real power in the effort to trouble Richard O'Donnell.
It's good attacking positioning. Josh Eccles in between those Derby defensive lines. Again, look at Onyeka, how high up the pitch he is. Matt Grimes sits deep, he can go and join the attacks.
Derby's season being a bit of a tale of the unexpected. Consolidation and staying out of trouble was the remit this season. Making a play for the top 6 on the agenda next season, but they've managed to get themselves up the table after that difficult start, and they've managed to carry on despite the injuries they've had to carry. The latest 2 being Sammy Smodics, who will be out for these games over Easter because of concussion protocols, and Rhian Brewster being ruled out for the rest of the season after undergoing knee surgery. Ozo wins the battle. Ruben Diaz just having to hold his run. And there's Carlton Morris. Merkin has a couple of assists already for Derby County. Morris involved again, and he wins the corner for Derby.
Yeah, ideally, you want Carlton Morris on the end of the crosses that he's trying to provide. He's drifting into wide areas. He's trying to get involved in an attacking sense, but really you need other players in those positions crossing for him.
Into the Luton team, which beat Coventry City in the 2023 Championship Playoff Final. Merkin stands over this for Derby. He's going to try and hit back here. Merkin swings that ball in, but it's comfortable for Rushworth. In the end of the ball, it just swung out of play in any case.
That's so poor. You know, you've conceded. You finally get up the pitch, you force a set piece, and then you knock the ball out of play. It's just a real waste. You've got to be better than that. The quality has to be better than that.
Ozo. Ruben Diaz swings that ball into the path of Ward. He delivers the cross, and Van Eyck gets there. Sacramento scoring back as well, and now the break could be on here for Coventry City, led by Onyeka. Onyeka driving up the pitch, lovely ball to Ellis Sims. He was matched stride for stride by Sanderson, and Onyeka was taken down late, and he stayed down.
There's a brilliant little flick round the corner there from Eccles to get Onyeka on his way. It's good refereeing, because he is fouled Onyeka, but you know, he lays the ball off. Ellis Sims has got a shooting opportunity, so don't pull it back. Let the game go. It's a really tight angle. Good defending from Sanderson as well, getting across. Difficult chance to score from. Onyeka again bursting forward. The freedom, the release that he's given. Ozo takes him out, but Onyeka powering forward is causing so many problems.
Well, there is concern here for Frank Onyeka. The Coventry City medical staff are on the pitch. Hit the shoulder by the looks of it.
On the bench, he's got Victor Torp, he's got Jack Redoni. He could make a change, but the way Onyeka has influenced the game so far, you really don't want to take him off unless you absolutely have to.
Doesn't look like he's preparing to come on, Jack Redoni, but
he's thinking about preparing.
Well, one of the reasons Frank Lampard brought in Frank Onyeka in the winter window was just to add a bit more Premier League experience to this Coventry City squad. Bringing him in from Brentford, there is an obligation to buy him should Coventry City get the job done. Oh, he almost tripped over the medic's back there. That would have added insult to injury. But there will be an obligation to buy him should Coventry get the job done and seal promotion.
You know, Onyeka is a versatile midfielder, so whatever game breaks out, he can play, he can sit deeper, he can disrupt, he can tackle, as we've seen here, he can break forward, he can score goals. You can see exactly why Frank Lampard brought him in.
Well, Derby have left 2 up the pitch here, and Coventry are short-handed because Onyeka is off the pitch. So Derby are trying to dilute the threat in their box from Coventry. It's whipped in by Grimes, and McDonald holds on, and now Derby looking for something on the counter here, as Onyeka waits to be called back on after the 30 seconds are up. Benel, who is striding forward. Sims. We'll just have to keep a close watch on Onyeka here, because he's ready to come back on. Albeit Derby now have the ball back. Onyeka is back on, and he's straight after Carlton Morris, and immediately gets involved. That's why they love him here. Eccles the target found, but Sanderson tidies up behind him. Eccles catches Travis. Morris. Clark gets it back from Brayton Diaz. Looking for bodies arriving in the box here. Morris just lingering outside for now. Bobby Clark makes room for the cross. Travis trying to get to that. Coming in from an awkward angle, and he's yellow carded. We'll have to watch his step now.
You mentioned that Carlton Morris lingering on the edge of the box. He's got to get in the box. He's got to get into the 6-yard box as well to get on the end of crosses. And Travis just goes diving in to some extent there. And that isn't a get out to say I played the ball. If you actually catch the man as well, the way you go into the challenge is why you give the free kick away, why you get booked.
Yeah, Lewis Travis yellow carded. As the Coventry City fans pay tribute to Roy Slade, a Coventry City supporter who passed away recently. And Coventry fans remembering one of their own here. There's Romain Esse. Travis was a huge part of his game, snapping around the pitch. Lewis Travis.
We're closing in on half an hour played. It's not been a perfect half an hour by any means for Coventry, but at this stage of the season, it isn't about performances, it's about getting goals, it's getting wins, it's getting over the line. So I think Frank will be pleased. He probably expected this type of game with Derby spoiling things, making it difficult for them, but they've got that all-important first goal.
Yeah, Derby have made a bright start to the contest as well. Bit of room here for Derry Merkin. Ozo. Now Travis. To pick out Wembley and Diaz. They've worked this well. Bobby Clark arrives on the scene and will drop in to Derry Merkin. Slammed across the box from Derry Merkin. Coventry with a chance to break forward and get Derby County on the back foot. To the head of Eccles.
And it's Bobby Thomas with a block. Sometimes as a defender, all you can do is get in the line of fire. And Bobby Clark shapes up, he strikes it goalwards. The centre-half just stands there and batters the ball away. And look at Coventry this season. Yes, they scored loads of goals, but Carl Rushworth, the centre-halves, Matt Grimes as well, they've defended really well. They're a hard team to get through.
Improving defensively was what one of the aims Frank Lampard set out in the summer to his Coventry players. 2 balls on the pitch at the moment, which is why players been halted. But he's had to mix up his central defensive partnerships. He played 6 different combinations this season, Frank Lampard. Bobby Thomas and Liam Kitching at the heart of the Coventry defence tonight. De Silva. Nicely done initially there by Ozo. Bobby Clark again on the front foot for Derby.
Bobby Clark is causing problems by breaking beyond Carlton Morris. Good reading of the defensive situation again from Bobby Thomas.
Thomas is there again. Merkin. Travis. Ward delivering that cross, and Rushworth gets to it.
As soon as Ward pulled his foot back to deliver the cross, Rushworth was ready to make a move, and positive goalkeeping, clean catch. I think it's fair to say Derby have cleared their heads after conceding that goal. They're getting a foot on the ball, they've got a foothold in the game again.
Bobby Clark, key to that. The Derby supporters are desperate for the club to sign on a permanent basis at the end of this season, but could be a big ask, that. Loan from Salzburg, where he followed Pep Lijnders from Liverpool to Austria. Ozo. Coventry get the free kick. I don't think he agrees, John Eustace. He used to live at Coventry's training ground when he was coming through the academy. Here, John Eustace. He's given the captain's armband by Gordon Strachan at the age of 22. Trying to plot Coventry's downfall here tonight. But they trail by a goal to nil, Derby County, but they get the free kick. The stats, the appearances that he made, had injury problems during his time at Coventry, John Eustace, but highly regarded as he was coming through the academy.
I'll be really frustrated so far. His team have matched Coventry pretty well. Be disappointed with the way that the goal was conceded, but surely it's the belief and desire his team are showing here against the best side in the league.
Ward with the free kick. There's Clark. Rushworth with the call, the big shout, and he gathers and he picks out Sakamoto. Sakamoto trying to set Ellis Sims away, and Sims will get to it. Ellis Sims! O'Donnell pounces just in the nick of time as far as Derby are concerned. He's taken a hit for his troubles.
That's a brilliantly weighted, angled forward ball from Sakamoto. Gives Ellis Sims a chance. Turns Sanderson. Positive goalkeeping, but I think Sims got every right to go for that ball. I don't think he's trying to injure the goalkeeper. He's trying to get to the ball. Keeper just gets there first, and he does catch him. But again, you see the Derby defenders not necessarily getting Ellis Sims his face. That they know he's kind of trying to hurt the goalkeeper there. They can see that he's trying to get to the ball.
O'Donnell back on his feet and ready to continue. Derby still without their number one in Zetterstrom, who's been hit by a virus, but they do expect him to be back pretty soon, but they've had to change that goalkeeping position a few times this season. Travis. There's Ward. Going for the return. Brereton Diaz puts out the cross, and Van Eyck managed to reach it.
Dangerous position, decent cross, takes the goalkeeper out of the picture, but Carlton Morris just slightly underneath the ball. Full back round on the cover can clear.
Ozo. There's Gary Merkin. Bobby Clark with a touch.
talked about Derby kind of clearing their heads after conceding. They've done that particularly well. They've dominated the ball. That's not easy to do here. They're forcing Coventry back, and they are getting into dangerous areas, promising positions, just not making the most of them.
Reminder that they're starting tonight without Patrick Adjemang, who is on the bench for Derby tonight after his exploits with the US national team. There's Clark. He's managed to deliver the cross, and it's a perfect cross, which is nodded home by Ben Brayton-Diaz. Coventry City opened up, and Derby County doing what Derby County do, disrupting the big hitters in the Championship.
It's what Derby richly deserved. I just mentioned the reaction to going behind has been outstanding. They didn't feel sorry for themselves, they didn't concede a quick second, they got back on the ball, got up the pitch. I talked about Matt Clark, centre-half, loves defending, but he's a talent with the ball at his feet. He's like a winger here, the cross is an absolute beauty. Rushworth feels he can get there, so he takes a step forward. Once it goes over his head, it's just whether Brayton-Diaz is alive, his goal side of his man. And he is, he's got away from De Silva, who switched off at the far post. Look at the positivity, a centre-half stepping forward, whipping in a brilliant cross. And there's a winger on the opposite side, keeping his concentration. It's a really considered header. It's a brilliant Derby goal.
It was almost like everybody switched off for Coventry City. And it opened up for Matt Clark. And he delivered one of the best crosses you will see. And Ben Brayton-Diaz made sure that was his.
Just to go back to Brayton-Diaz's concentration levels there, his anticipation of the ball ending up on his head, because I think most wingers in that position would think, well, the cross is not going to come in, or the keeper's going to catch it, or it's going to go flying over my head. None of those things happened. It was a peach of a ball in, and he was ready.
So, Derby County within 3 points of the top 6 as it stands right now. For Ben Brayton-Diaz. Let's not forget he's had that trip to Auckland, the back to play for Chile against Cape Verde. He scored against them. And the win over Cape Verde, beaten by New Zealand in the game after that. As I mentioned before, Easter weekend is when things can change dramatically. And we have another huge day of fixtures coming up on Easter Monday, live on Sky Sports Football in the Championship, League One and League Two. Sims striding forward.
Once again, Matt Clark, brilliantly timed challenge. Just to go back to that Brayton-Diaz goal, I just wonder what Carl Rushworth, he anticipates a cross coming in, he steps forward to maybe try and collect it. If he doesn't do that, and then he stays on his goal line, he possibly saves the header.
And from Derby again, Brayton-Diaz trying to provide the ammunition this time. It's the Derby fans who are filling the air in Coventry City right now. And they're on the front foot again here, away by Thomas. There's Clark. Showing off now, Matt Clark. Sanderson. There's Bennell. Van Eerwijk. Eccles. Trying to stand his ground on the pressure from Bennell and Merkin. Onyeka. Sims remain SA. Pass Ward, and SA will settle for the corner. Pieces were key when these two met. Second weekend of the season. A different Derby County team to that is playing here today. It was a 5-3 win for Coventry. Eagles with the corner kick, and Sims was lurking at the far post. Imagine those injuries that Derby County have suffered this season, and John Eustace has had to change the way they play quite a few times, the patterns of play as well. And the fact that he hasn't had to rush Carlton Morris back in after his 16 games out because of the form of Patrick Adjumang and the rest of the Derby team just shows you how well that they have done to still be competing at the top end against the odds. Adjumang with a watching brief from the start here tonight. He's a player that Derby do fear losing should they not win promotion to the Premier League. They feel his valuation has increased more than 3 times since they spent £6 million on him last summer.
I think both starting 11s have made this a really entertaining watch, but now players like Patrick Adjumang, and you look at that Coventry bench as well, I'm sure the substitutes are going to have a huge impact on the outcome here. But I think for John Eustace, do go in, all square at half-time, I'm sure he'll say that that's what we deserve, how well we played, and again, we've not sat back, we've not been passive, we've taken the game to the best team in the league, and we deserve to be on level terms.
The ball launched long for Ellis Sims to give chase. Sanderson holds him up initially, and Clark tidies up. And Sanderson again. A John Eustace stalker. Been with them at Queen's Park Rangers, Birmingham City, Blackburn, now Derby.
Is that the right term of phrase?
Not sure. I'll revisit it. Apologies, Dion, if you're watching later. Here is Sanderson. To 3 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Bennell. Oh, Bennell will latch onto this. It's Bennell, and Rushworth comes up with a big save for Coventry City. He's been doing it all season. Morris. Bennell involved again. Travis. Anxiety spilling down from the stands at the CBS Arena. Huge chance for Bennell, but denied by Rushworth.
The opportunity came from a Coventry player playing it into the path of Bennell. But Carl Rushworth, he's maybe made a mistake, possibly for the Derby goal, but great goalkeepers, respond. And this is a quite brilliant save. Okay, it's not the most glamorous you'll ever make, but keep the ball out. Bennell is favourite to score here. And Rushworth, you can see with his body position, he covers so much of the goal. It's so hard to get the ball past him. It's a brilliant save.
Well, Derby with that huge opportunity to get themselves in front just before the break.
It's a surprise they've not taken it. If you look at their attacking stats this season, they don't take many shots, but their conversion rate, the 3rd best in the Championship. It's why they've scored as many goals as they have from so few shots. And really, Bennell, if he lifts that ball, it gives Derby a lead going into half-time.
Looking for a decision which doesn't come his way. John Eustace had to really fight to sign Carlton Morris in the summer, just to convince the hierarchy that his experience would be absolutely vital. And it certainly was at the start of the season with the 10 goals and the way he was playing before he suffered that injury. But also we mentioned Patrick Adjemang before, and he's been learning from Carlton Morris during his time at Derby County.
Well, Derby lost their top scorer. We knew he was going to be out for a period of time. We were worried about Derby getting dragged into a relegation battle, but Adjemang and others have really stepped up and filled that Morris void.
Onyeka, Romain Esse, Merkin. Well, again giving chase to this. Rushworth gets to it. Van Ewijk with an important touch. Ozo, making his presence felt, hits the deck. Travis, no way out here for Coventry City. It's Travis. Now Brereton Diaz. Ward on the outside. Ward with the cross. Carlton Morris keeps it alive. Burnell was in there. Clark tries to get to it. And Coventry City are on the ropes here.
Yeah, ideally you want Burnell heading that back across goal for Carlton Morris. It's the other way around. Burnell, I think, has a chance. It's just not a powerful header. It's not a clean connection. It just kind of comes off his shoulder more than anything else. Completely mistimes it. You want those players, those two players, you know, switched round. You want Morris on the end of that knockback.
And that was the final act of the first half. Derby County wanted the corner, but the referee has called time on the first 45 minutes. Derby started the brighter and they ended the stronger. But in between, Frank Onyeka find Coventry City in front with his first goal in a sky blue shirt. But Derby responded, and Ben Brereton Diaz headed home from a wonderful cross from Matt Clark. At the break, it's Coventry City 1, Derby County 1.
Look at this. Are you kidding me? What on earth was that? Oh, he's trying it. That might be one of the shots of his life.
He's finally done it. Masters champion. Rory's Grand Slam is complete.
All the action from Augusta coming your way exclusively live on course on Sky Sports. The Masters Sky Sports Golf, April the 9th to the 12th. Can Rory defend his title there? Second half is about to get underway here at the CBS Arena. It's Coventry City 1, it's Derby County 1, and it's been one hell of a game so far. Something I know our Coventry team have really rather enjoyed. And Hinchcliffe, Gary Weaver.
Thank you, David. 1-1 at the break between these two. Derby County have won 4 of their last 5 games. And even though they may not be at their strongest, they may be weakened because of injuries again, a real show of strength in that first half from Derby.
Yeah, a point is never a bad one in the Championship. I think with what these two sides are trying to achieve come the end of the season, a win here is all important. So I'm just wondering who's going to take more risks to try and secure the 3 points.
So Coventry City will get the second half underway, attacking their favoured end in the second half. Singer's corner down that end. No changes by either team at the break as the ball is rolled back to Carl Rushworth, and it's a kick-off we see so many times these days. Launched long and Ozo gets his head on it.
I think half-time came at a good time for Coventry because Derby were dominating the game, deservedly equalised, could have gone in 2-3-1 up. It's still all square, so Coventry really need to get a grip on the start of this second half.
John Eustace making that big decision not to start with Patrick Adjemang tonight. Adjemang arriving back from the US on Wednesday night. But on the bench here tonight for Derby, and Morris starting ahead of him, but both teams have strikers in reserve ready to come on. She Wright, compatriot of Adjemang's, ready if needed from the bench for Coventry. There's Romain Esse. Romain Esse. He's seen off. Now De Silva. Grimes. In towards that far post, and Clark having to take evasive action again for Derby County. Derby get the free kick.
It's brilliant build-up with Grimes and Esse. It's a wonderful cross, but the positioning again of Matt Clark has hardly put a foot wrong in the game. Right place, right time as that cross came in, edge of the 6-yard box, there to head clear.
Our very own Curtis Davis, who once told Matt Clark at Derby that you do not know how good you are. Wise words from Curtis, not for the first time. He'll be looking for a bit more from his Coventry team in this second half.
I'm sure he'll give it 10-15 minutes if Derby are dominating the start of the second half. He's got options on the bench, he's got to force the issue.
It's not getting carried away with Coventry's position. Seeing a 10-point gap in mid-season evaporate. He's not getting ahead of himself. His overconfidence could be Coventry's biggest foe, biggest enemy right now. Thomas. Van Ewijk. Referee has played the advantage as Sakamoto picks up and he tries to guide that ball towards Romain Esse, but Ward managed to get something on it.
Yeah, the one thing Frank Lampard has to do is project, a calmness. Even though you're top of the table, you can't play brilliantly every half of every game. You're going to have sides that make it difficult for you. It's just getting through the difficult spells and reasserting control and winning the game. I'm sure his team are capable of doing that.
There goes Matt Clark again, looking to tear up the pitch. Van Ewijk, Thomas, Sakamoto.
He talks a lot already about the attacking threat on the bench that Coventry have, and if you look at the players that are down there, there's so many championship goals that those players have scored, so you feel it's inevitable that some of those players are going to come on, especially if Coventry aren't ahead.
Strength in depth for Coventry City. His bench made up of a few teenagers tonight because of their injury situation. The likes of Patrick Adjemang. Van Ewijk. Sakamoto. And Sims was in the middle. Coventry didn't lose their last game here to Southampton in what was a really good tactical joust between Tom de Eckert and Frank Lampard. Eckert trying to close down Matt Grimes and try and shut down the wide areas of that game by going 4-1-4-1. Coventry still had chances, but Southampton came out on top. I'll be noticed Southampton next week.
Yeah, you can understand why Eckhart did that, because Matt Grimes, the influence he has on the functionality of the team in the wide areas, the danger they have in wide areas. So there's lots of elements of the Coventry game that you're trying to stop, but dealing with Grimes, dealing with those wide attackers, if you can kind of stop those players influencing the game, you've got a chance.
There's De Silva. Ozo getting a bit too close to Onyeka.
Ozo's got to be careful. He's a very combative, aggressive midfielder. That was just an unnecessary kick. You don't want to get a cheap yellow card because then you have to change your game.
Just the one yellow so far, which came to Ozo's midfield partner, Lewis Travis. Sakamoto. To outwit Derry Merkin, he sends that ball in, and look who's there again, Matt Clark, perfectly placed to deal with it.
And that's Sakamoto's trademark cross, drop of the shoulder, left-footed ball in. Clark reads it again so well.
There's Breton Diaz making his way forward. He picks out Jayden Burnell, and Burnell seen off by Thomas. Burnell, who had that wonderful chance late on in the first half and was denied by Rushworth that time. This time it was Thomas who was in the way.
Yeah, Thomas went to ground there, and Burnell, if he could have kept that ball close, he had a chance of getting a shot in, he knows it. And Matt Clark defends well, the counter-attack is on. It's a really intelligent early ball from Breton Diaz. You can see that Bobby Thomas has gone to ground, so Burnell just keep that ball close. The defender's out of the game. It's just a poor touch, comes off his knee. It gives Thomas a chance to make the flick clearance.
Yeah, he's got Ajax on his CV. Jayden Burnell arrived on loan at Derby from Burnley, getting his chance tonight in the absence of Rhian Brewster, who's out for the season.
Yeah, could have had a hat-trick with the opportunities that he's had. The best one, of course, clean through on Rushworth, hit the goalkeeper's legs.
Well, Onyeka's got the free kick here. Travis not too happy, just needs to watch his step in terms of his reaction here, Lewis Travis, because he is on that yellow card, but he feels that that was a cheap one.
It's very hard to fight your instincts. He is aggressive, combative, like Ozo. Wants to make challenges, he just blocks off his man, he steps across him. Being on a yellow card again, it's very hard to step out of the way there, thinking I can't make any contact here for fear of being sent off. John Eustace might look at that and think, well, do I take him off to safeguard the team? But he's such an influential player, a leader in there, you don't want to take him off. I hope that he can see the game out.
Yeah, big player for Derby. He's been a big player in the past for John Eustace as Lewis Travis when they were together at Blackburn. Van Ewijk. The Sims. Now Onyeka. Morris with a lot of work to do, and it gets beyond the Derby frontman. Thomas. There's De Silva. Van Ewijk finding Sakamoto. De Silva. World Cup heartbreak with Wales during the international break.
Yeah, I'm just watching Ozo there, he's touch tight.
Ozo's there again, this time with Onyeka. I'll say we'll give chase to this, but he will run out of pitch. Break.
Yeah, I'm just watching Ozo there, he's touch tight with easy ball in.
In terms of the game plans, to
the central midfielder to dictate the play. Ozo's really getting close to him.
Those who work with John Eustace, play under him, have worked with him. They say his attention to detail is second to none. Around the training ground at Derby County, the big TV screens all over the training base. The game plans are up there. Footage of training is up there, so he makes sure he gets into the players' heads wherever they are, John Eustace. The screens of Coventry City as well. David Putton, when he was at Coventry, when he walked in every day, written in large letters across the screen was, "You are in a relegation battle." Just to remind the Coventry players that they were, and they did manage to survive that season in spite of David Putton. But managers will do absolutely everything they can to make sure they stay in the players' heads.
To sell David Putton.
Well, here's an opportunity for Josh Eccles, a Derby mistake. O'Donnell with the save, and Sims over the top on the follow-up. And Derby County breathe a huge sigh of relief, and most notably Joe Ward, who's been bailed out by his keeper.
Yeah, in the first half, Rushworth redeemed himself. And O'Donnell's done similar here. Really should have done better with the Onyeka strike. It's just really good goalkeeping, similar to Rushworth. You know, as a goalkeeper, don't give an on-rushing attacker anything to really aim at. He stays big, makes that decision to step in at just the right time. He doesn't give Eccles a lot to shoot at. It's good goalkeeping.
Ward involved again.
Is this where this game is going to be decided? A defensive error, poor back pass, defensive slip, lacking concentration. There's so many good attackers out there that eventually feel one side is going to be punished if it doesn't. They're absolutely sure with every pass that it makes.
Morris. He humped it down. Onyeka. Bennell steps in. That's Kitching. Grimes. Kitching again. Nicely turned around the corner by Esse. Here's De Silva. Jay De Silva lays the ball in low, away by Merkin. Ozo trying to twist his way out of trouble, and he succeeded. Clark. Travis.
There's a couple of occasions now Derby have just switched off, made mistakes, and really Coventry should have capitalised.
There's Ozo. He was hit by injury troubles during his loan spell at Derby last season. Here he is again. Kitching in a scrap with Morris. Travis. Call out to Merkin, who's now out of position and having to scurry back. Sakamoto ahead of him. Grimes. Slipped through beautifully. It's Van Eyck looking to pick someone out in the middle. Ward with the clearance. There's De Silva.
I just feel Coventry starting to turn the screw up the tempo here. Really test that Derby defence.
Eccles. Esse. Smuggled through to Eccles, who once again is outwitted by Richard O'Donnell.
He just seems to put his head down and strike it at the goal. If he gets his head up, has a look at where the keeper is, he'd be able to slide that ball past him, lift it possibly. It's a little bit too easy, just a little give and go. Joe Ward doesn't track the run, and he hits the goalkeeper. Should be sliding that down the side of the keeper and making it 2-1. Great run off the ball, gets it out of his feet. It's a really poor finish.
Coventry City are asking the questions here as we head towards the hour mark. Matt Grimes preparing to take this corner kick right in front of Singer's corner. Swinger from Grimes. That was interesting. Sims trying the acrobatics. Ozo looking to stand his ground. Thomas gets to it. Ozo does steal the ball back for Derby County. He's looking for runners ahead of him. Ozo trying to hold off Sakamoto, which is easier said than done. And Van Eyck gets to it. Really open feel about this game. A fired up John Eustace in the technical area for Derby County against his former club. Of a Coventry team in this city with Chris Kirkland and Lee Carsley, Craig Bellamy. There goes Van Eyck again. Sims in the middle. Likewise, Matt Clark, who gets to it. De Silva. There's De Silva again. Grimes with time to measure that. Matt Clark is there again. Sakamoto. Van Eyck. Derby once again just about keeping Coventry at arm's length.
Yeah, it looks like Frank Lampard's going to try and strike while the iron's hot. His team on the front foot, creating chances. Looks like a triple attacking change here.
Yeah, Jack Redoni, Ephron Mason-Clark and Haji Wright have been summoned. A yellow card shown to John Eustace, who asks why. So John Eustace booked. Meanwhile, Coventry City making this triple change. Josh Eccles, Romain Esse and Ellis Sims, the three to make way.
It's no surprise Frank Lampard has waited an hour. His team are on the front foot, could have left it another 5-10 minutes, but believes that making this change, bringing on three of his most dangerous attackers, can win the game for them. But the game is flowing towards O'Donnell's goals to send on players that can win it for you.
"28 goals are coming on here for Coventry City.
Yeah, those Derby defenders very quickly have to switch on to the new challenges that they face individually, collectively. There's aggression, there's pace, there's composed finishers that have arrived here, so Derby have to switch on and be ready.
John Eustace saying, "I've seen you, I'll raise you." Patrick Adjemang will be coming on shortly for Derby County. Ephron Mason-Clark. He won his first cap for Jamaica during the international break. And they beat New Caledonia in a World Cup playoff semi-final before losing the playoff final against DR Congo. Kitching, now Grimes. Redoni. Coventry have got him back again, Jack Redoni. He's missed a lot of football this season. Absolutely loves working under Frank Lampard. Mason-Clark. Against his former Peterborough teammate, Joe Ward.
I just mentioned there about Coventry being on the front foot, the stronger team in the second half, dominating the game. So it makes sense now to send on those three key attackers to have a huge influence. If this continues with those three players on, you feel Coventry can win it.
So here's the change. Patrick Adjemang comes on to replace Carlton Morris in the Derby County attack.
There's probably a change that was always going to be made. Carlton Morris still working his way back up to full fitness, but for Adjemang, he might not get a lot of the ball. Got a lot of defensive work to do, closing down centre halves, but be ready. There might just be that one ball over the top, one chance for him to be the hero and get the winning goal.
10 goals to his name. He did score for the US during the international break. Goal against Belgium. Hasn't scored in his last 7 for Derby.
Well, he has scored a lot of away goals, a lot of headed goals. So again, if they get an opportunity, set piece, get the ball into the box for him.
Just over 31,000 inside here tonight, as this city waits to bring Premier League football back here. 11 points is what is needed from kick-off tonight to seal the deal. But they've been given a real test here by Derby County tonight.
Yeah, the support here, the atmosphere here all season long has been outstanding. A big part of the Coventry success, their home form. But I'm sure they didn't turn up here expecting Derby just to roll over and be beaten. They're making it really tough for the home team.
Adjamang the target here, gets beyond him. Merkin will try and keep Derby on the front foot. Snap in for Derby. Haslo conceded the free kick. More frustration from him and the Derby bench on the far side. Efron Mason-Clark. There's Thomas. Sweeping that ball into the path of Van Eyck. Travis perfectly positioned for Derby.
It's very important for Derby that Van Eyck switches on when Van Eyck steps forward from right back, as he's done throughout the season. He's a left-sided midfielder, you've got to track him back.
Room here with Jack Redoni. Redoni continues his run, then he slips, he bounces back to his feet. It's Jack Redoni! There's the difference! Coventry City have game changers, they have match winners, and they have a second goal. Another moment to cherish in what is becoming a season to treasure. And Jack Redoni strikes in the sky blue of Coventry City. It's becoming a familiar tale.
Well, when you look at the strength that Frank Lampard has got on his bench, you might think, well, it's easy, you know, to send players on to affect a game, but the timing of it was all important. That triple change, when Coventry were on the front foot, get on your most dangerous attacking players to take advantage of the way the game was going. Redoni just lays the ball off, he just holds his run, and it's all about his balance in the end. He loses his footing, regains it, and then doesn't panic, just really passes the ball into the bottom corner. It's why Frank Lampard sent players like him on to win the game for his team, but it's the time that he sent them on was all important. He could have waited another 5 minutes, he didn't, and it's paid dividends.
Just another day at the office for Jack Redoni, and Derby County with it all to do again.
You've got to go back to those two opportunities for Van Eyck that he had just before half-time. Derby could have been 2-1 up, 3-1 up. Look what that goal means for Coventry now at the top of the table.
Can Derby County respond again here? There's Ward. Merkin. Seen off. Ward, his former teammate, Mason-Clark, was lurking behind him.
And Derby have to respond in the same way as they did when Onyeka scored. They got right in the game, deserved their equaliser. Can they do it again?
Redoni, seen off for now. Grimes. Sakamoto. A spring in the step of this Coventry City team now as they hunt another one. Onyeka surging forward. Around McClock.
He's a little bit selfish there, he should have released the pass, but that combination of Onyeka stepping in front of Grimes, who just plays the ball into the attacking midfielder's path, he needs to release the pass early. He just gets a little bit greedy, runs down a cul-de-sac runs out of space, the angle narrows. I think because he scored once, he thinks maybe, it's his night, I'm going to get a second. He needed to do the right thing and release the pass.
Important moments in this game now as Coventry hunt a third, looking for clear daylight. Derby looking to stay in the fight. Plenty of movement in the box as Rodoni sends that in. O'Donnell makes contact and Derby get the free kick.
It should always be the goalkeepers, the way that ball is flighted in, whether you catch it, whether you punch it, you should get there first. He does. Takes a bit of a whack, but they're under the cosh here, Derby. They need to stand firm.
Well, he had to stand firm in the summer because bids were coming in for Jack Rodoni, for other Coventry City players too, but Doug King wanted to make sure that Frank Lampard had the strongest squad possible to rebound and respawn for what happened last season when they were beaten in the playoff semi-finals late on, and to give Coventry the best chance to get to the Premier League this time around. Oscar Fraulo comes on for Derby to replace Jayden Bennell.
Bennell will be so furious with himself, the opportunities that he had to get at least one goal. He could have had 2 or 3. He could have been totally different had he taken those chances.
Ozo showing his strength. Free kick for Derby as Jayden Bennell thinks, what if?
You have to give him a lot of credit for getting into those goal-scoring positions, but he'll be so disappointed he didn't take at least one of those good chances he had.
Jemang makes the run in behind here, but he's stopped by Van Eerbeek. Sakamoto, Van Eerbeek. Rodoni helping out defensively. Jemang. There's Ward. Jemang gives chase again. Flying in low and Rushworth gathers.
That's not an easy cross to make. Ideally you want to get your foot underneath the ball, but he's running out of pitch. The angle's tight, he's just trying to whip it across and hope that he can keep it away from Rushworth.
Hunger and desire here from Kitching to get Coventry up the pitch. Try and get this job done. Mason Clark. Ward stands his ground. Brereton Diaz, who levelled up for Derby in the first half. Mason Clark. Away from Ozo, who commits the foul.
Fascinating final 15 minutes or so. The game starting to open up. Derby taking more risks, making more bodies forward, looking for the equaliser. Opens the game up for Coventry on the counter-attack with the dynamism and pace they've got. Just come off the bench, that could kill the game off for them.
As ever, the master of ceremonies in these kind of situations. Driven forwards, Thomas gets his head on it, away by Clark. There's Bobby Clark. Fraulo. He's played that ball perfectly. It's Brereton Diaz, takes a heavy touch. Rushworth's there to greet him. Penalty! Penalty given! Rushworth is convinced he got the ball, but Tom Neal says no, and it's a penalty for Derby County.
Well, let's have a good long look at this, because the touch from Brereton Diaz did look slightly heavy, and Rushworth was there very quickly. He's adamant he's got a hand on the ball. Let's have a look at this. Well, he absolutely does. He gets fingertips. That is not a penalty. No wonder that the Coventry players, Rushworth in particular, are furious. It's a great bit of goalkeeping that's been punished.
Carl Rushworth cannot believe it, but the penalty has been given. Derby have scored 4 out of 4 from the spot in the Championship this season. 3 from Morris, 1 from Brewster. Neither are on the pitch here.
I think in the referee's defence, it all happens so fast that maybe he can't see it. It looks like it's a trip on Brereton Diaz. It absolutely isn't. What a moment in the game, in the season this is for both clubs.
Well, Carl Rushworth is raging, but he has a chance to salvage the situation for Coventry. But Ben Brereton Diaz, who beat him in the first half, and he was involved in that incident, stares into the eyes of the Coventry fans behind that goal and Carl Rushworth, and now studies the ball, and here he comes, big moment, Brereton Diaz, no messing about, he responds again, Derby respond again.
Well, he never should have had the opportunity to beat Rushworth, but what a cool penalty this is. The majority of the crowd is baying for him to miss, but there was no panic, big deep breaths. It's a brilliant penalty. He just lets the goalkeeper go, strokes it down the other side. That is composed as you can get. Very easy to get flustered in that position, make the wrong decision, but he makes just the right one. Here it is again. Rushworth, so quick to get there, hand on the ball. Then there's the collision. It's not a penalty, but Brereton Diaz is given the opportunity, and he takes it.
Huge moment in this game. Huge moment for Derby County, levelling up as they chase down a top 6 spot. Frustration for Frank Lampard, a shake of the head from the Coventry boss. Van Ebbe hurls that ball in, Clark gets to it. A towering performance at the back from Matt Clark for Derby County tonight.
The penalty award for Brereton Diaz was a hugely fortunate one, but the way that he got in was outstanding. The forward ball to him was quite brilliant.
Pitching, biting his nails, not the only one maybe here. Adjaman gets his head on it. Mason Clark. De Silva. Kitching. Sakamoto. Van Ebbe. Redoni's free! It's Coventry chaos again! Jack Redoni celebrates at one end, Carl Rushworth celebrates at the other. He will feel that that is justice served. And Jack Redoni, why is Coventry City in front again? Where are we heading next?
And another example of Coventry's resilience. Understandably, they're furious with the decision to give the penalty, but what did they do? They did something about it. They went down the other end and got another goal. It's a bit too easy, though. Look at the space that Redoni has. You've got centre-halves in there, you've got midfielders back helping out defensively. No one is picking Redoni up. There's pace on the cross, and he just redirects it. Just watch this for a finish, for technique, for touch. Just help it on its way, guide it to where you want it to go. There's pace on it. It's a brilliant finish under pressurised circumstances, and what a response again from Coventry.
Just minutes after Brereton Diaz had levelled up from the penalty spot. Derby a hit again, and Carl Rushworth celebrates at the other end, having given the penalty away in controversial circumstances. Yellow card shown towards Patrick Adjaman.
It's Adjimang and Thomas who go into what it seems like a 50-50 challenge. Is there anything sinister in this? It's a bit naughty from Adjimang, the way he turns his body, just leaves his foot there. I feel for Thomas to kick. Is that a genuine attempt to play the ball? I'm not sure that it is. He's lucky to get away with that.
So Adjimang booked, and the concern from the Coventry players initially was for their teammate there, Bobby Thomas. And he's being treated right now, the Coventry City centre-back, after feeling the full effects of that. Well, the biggest party in this city for almost 40 years could be happening soon. Since Coventry City won the FA Cup in 1987. Coventry closing in on promotion to the Premier League, rejoining the elite after a generation away. Now these the generation that take them back.
Well, they've shown all season long, they've clearly got the ability, they've got the defensive strength and the best goalkeepers, loads of goals, but they have resilience and a crowd that kicks every ball with them. It's a club as united as you'll see in the Championship.
Bobby Thomas is back on his feet and looks to be okay to continue. Coventry down to 10 for now as Bobby Thomas waits to be waved back on. Can Derby try and rescue this for a third time? 5-3 when they met earlier this season, so we've been sold a little short so far. Fabulous contest between these two. There's Brereton Diaz. Thomas is now back on the pitch for Coventry. Ozo. Adjimang. Time and room to turn. Ozo. Sanderson. Brereton Diaz. There's Travis. Travis digging his heels in. It's Fraulo. Just gets away from him.
Yeah, a surer touch, a closer touch, and it's a shooting chance. Again, another great response to conceding a goal from Derby.
Ozo. Clark. Too much on that for Adjimang. And the last time Coventry were promoted to the top tier, they won the second tier title. That was back in 1967. They just missed out on promotion the season before to Southampton. Now Frank Lampard has his eyes on another trophy. Keeping you up, Doug Owen?
Tears of joy.
Clark. Also gets there just ahead of Jack Radoni. Fraulo has been neat and tidy since coming on. Adjimang. Fraulo's continued his run. Brilliant challenge from Milan van Eyck. Ozo though will latch onto this. Ozo. Once again heavily involved, but illegally so that time. So David Ozo is withdrawn, and on in his place comes Cruz Allen, 19-year-olds. The players who come through the academy at Derby County, and what they do at Derby is they give the academy players the opportunity to train with the first team throughout the season. And Cruz Allen, highly rated, he is on to replace David Ozo. Attacking midfielder who was originally just down the road from Derby of Burton. against Jack Radoni, who is making up for lost time. Bobby Clark emerges with the ball. He's done well. Adjumang. Derby once again carrying a threat when the ball is turned over. Adjumang leading them up the pitch here. He's found Fraulo. Brayton Diaz. He's gone for the return. Brayton Diaz. It almost fell to Allen.
Two congested central areas. He had two players out on the left-hand side. Play the ball there.
Adjumang taking the fight to Coventry, but runs into trouble.
It's brilliant from Onyeka. He just does the basics so well. Stays on his feet, watches the ball. He's in his own penalty area with Adjumang flying at him. He just picks the ball off. It's brilliant defending.
Coventry City, as it stands, one step closer. If it stays this way, they will need 8 points to return to football's elite, the Premier League.
Yeah, it's not about sparkling football this stage of the season, it's about winning games, and it's a really dodgy end to January, start of February. Looks like they're going to win 8 out of the last 9 games. That is some recovery.
And you think back to that night here against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough came here as the leaders. They'd taken Coventry's position. Coventry snatched it back. And Middlesbrough, apart from the win against Queen's Park Rangers when they were excellent, have had trouble since in terms of putting chances away. Derby on the approach again. Adjumang waiting in the middle. It doesn't reach him. Thomas gets to it.
It's that word again, resilience, the ability to bounce back. You're going to lose games in the Championship, wherever you are in the league table. Can you bounce back?
Away by Radoni. There's Matt Clark. And Derby could be hit on the counter-attack here. Right, making his way forward. Matt Clark has managed to get back. Did he catch him? The referee adamant that he didn't.
I think Matt Clark runs across his line. I don't think he takes him out by any means.
Into the final minutes of an incredible contest here tonight at the Coventry Building Society Arena.
It's a brilliant forward pass from Sakamoto to send Angie Wright on his way. See, Clark just steps across his man. It's good defending. It's not a foul.
Matt Grimes is withdrawn. On comes Victor Torp for Coventry City. Victor Torp, who's lost his starting position in this Coventry team to Frank Onyeka. Grimes is off.
I think the reaction to Matt Grimes going off tells you exactly what the Coventry fans and hierarchy feel about him. What a signing he has proved to be. He can control games like very few players in this league.
Seven additional minutes. Derby looking for a way back for a third time in this game. Derby, who were excellent in the first half. And as it stands, heading towards defeat here, unless they can rescue this and show their resilience again. Derby right now 4 points behind the top 6. As we mentioned a few times tonight, they are ahead of schedule. They are still right in the fight. Big game against Southampton on the horizon after a home game against Stoke on Easter Monday.
If they continue to apply themselves as they've done tonight, and they have done in recent games, they're still in with a shout.
There's another ball on the pitch there, but it's been dispatched by Ward. Here's Efron Mason-Clark. It dips after the deflection and flies over.
Now when a player drops a shoulder and whips it, the pace that's on the ball, any defensive touch, I've seen it happen so many times. He just looks over the goalkeeper and drops in at the far post, and it's not that far away. But this is where Coventry want to be. They're ahead, they're high up the pitch, they've got their dangerous players on the ball, looking to kill the game off. You don't want to be penned in on the edge of your own box when you're 3-2 up with 5 minutes or so to play.
This hush descends. There's Torp. Rodoni. Get the decision.
I'm sure Coventry would love a fourth goal, but it's about game management. The game is won at this point. Just got to see your way through to the end of the game.
Derby, the playoff failure with Coventry City last season, Frank Lampard will do anything to avoid the playoffs this time around, and Coventry City, as it stands, looks like they will avoid that fate.
Normally free kick in this position, the centre halves are up and you try and score, the corner flag suddenly becomes very, very attractive. The game is at this stage. Do
you have a favourite corner flag? Derby have got themselves out of a tight spot, but Kitchen gets there just ahead of Adjamang. Clark. Frello has managed to keep the ball in play. Onyeka. Brayton Diaz. Derby looking to carry a threat again and push Coventry back again.
Given against them, it's back to 2-2. Coventry sweep back up the other end, and Rodoni tucks the ball home. Fans are absolutely delighted, but it's what it does for their position at the top of the table, strengthens it.
They've been listening to us. The first person we've had in tears, Andy. Potential. But that's how much it means, so much emotion around here. And this weight is almost over, but this game isn't over yet, and here come Derby County again. Ward.
I also think with the Coventry fans, it's the nature of the game. It's been such a roller coaster, that penalty given against them. So they think we're going to drop a couple of points. Suddenly Rodoni scores, and now we're going to win the game. So again, the Coventry fans, Derby fans, have been through the mill tonight.
2 minutes to play. Derby have hit back twice. They're looking to do it once more here, but time is against them. Time is their enemy. Ward. Bobby Clark. And Haji Wright will give chase to this. O'Donnell was lurking just outside his box. And Haji Wright backs off. Brayton Diaz. He's won the free kick.
Surely Derby now will just pile everybody into that Coventry box. Very interesting to see what defensive line Coventry hold here. Brayton Diaz just gets clipped there by Mason Clark. It is a free kick, it's an opportunity. Coventry will desperately want to keep those big Derby players out of their penalty area.
Well, Derby County, who carry such a threat from set-piece situations, with a chance here to try and hit Coventry City again. Ward stands over it. Joe Ward delivers straight into the grateful grasp of Carl Rushworth. Ward. One final chance maybe for Derby County. Joe Ward told to retreat a few yards. This is it now. Ward with the throw. Clark stumbles over. There's Ward again. Now Cruz Allen. He sends a crossing. Adjumang waiting in the middle. And it goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, this looks like a decent ball in from Allen. Wonderfully flighted. Adjumang just seems to get up a little bit too early. He's on the way down as he maybe heads it. Just can't get his forehead on it. It's a great chance. Head that back across goal, you never know.
They are nearly there. Another game ticked off. Another win. Another show of resilience, of strength. The strength of potential champions. They are giving the referee a huge nudge. Coventry City, unstoppable. Derby can't stop them. No one can stop them right now. This is real. This could be happening. This could be the time. And this is how it feels to be Coventry City right now. A generation away from the Premier League. This looks to be the generation that takes them back. But did they have to fight for this tonight?
Just another wonderful game of Championship football. It swung to and fro. Credit Derby, they made a real game of it. They're still in the mix for the playoffs, but for Coventry, it's all about winning. And Frank Lampard bringing on those star strikers, Redoni in particular, to win the game. The timing of those substitutions, so it's the team and it's the coach getting decisions right, and it's a huge win for them. Another one.
A double from Jack Redoni. Frank Onyeka had scored the first for Coventry, but they couldn't shake Derby County off. Ben Brereton-Diaz twice levelling up for Derby. The second, a controversial penalty. It looked like Rushworth did get the ball, but the referee didn't see it that way. The penalty dispatched by Ben Brereton-Diaz. But Coventry didn't feel sorry for themselves, and Jack Redoni sent on from the bench. A game changer, a match winner. And Coventry City have just about edged out Derby County here tonight. But Derby will take plenty from this, from their performance. A weakened team, but at times a show of strength. But this is Coventry's night again. Another step on the road, the path to Premier League paradise. It is finished. Coventry City 3, Derby County 2.
Well, quite simply, what a game of football. Coventry City going at it against Derby County at the CBS Arena. A veritable jewel in our Good Friday crown here on Sky Sports. The league leaders extending their lead once again at the summit of the Championship. It was 11 points needed from 7 games. Now it's 8 points needed from 6 games. That man came on in the second half and made one hell of a difference, Curtis Davis.
Oh, yeah, massive. We spoke about the benches before, the quality of coming on. We looked at each other when we saw Hadji Wright coming on, Jack Redoni, Mason Clark, all coming on at the same time to make an impact. They nearly threw it away, Coventry, but Jack Redoni was there for the second time to make sure, and they made hard work of it for themselves, end up winning over the 2 legs, 8-5 on aggregate, so 2 exciting games, but Frank won't care how it happened. The 3 points are the most important thing.
Never a dull moment this season between these two sides, and right now, Russell Martin, it's not necessarily how you win, it's just that you win, isn't it?
Oh, it's that stage of the season, you just have to win. It's completely different, and that they dealt with setbacks really well tonight as a group, and we, like Curtis said, we spoke about the strength of their bench, and they've got brilliant options, but they dug deep, and when you're going to win the league like I think they are, you have to show them moments of resilience, and they were really resilient tonight.
That's the key thing, isn't it? Being able to make changes from the bench, a squad that's got some real depth, full of international footballers coming back to do their job here on Friday nights in the Championship. And the smiles all around. There were tears in the eyes of some fans tonight, Curtis, given what's at stake.
Yeah, they're very, very close after a very long time away. And they feel it now. You know, no one's going to admit to it until the moment it actually happens. But when moments like this happen, when you're up against it, Derby were actually, in my opinion, the better team for big stages of tonight's game. But, you know, you get that man come off the bench, Jack Rodoni, big moments, big players, and that's why they've been at the top all this season.
Well, we know what Frank's going to say after the game, Russell. He's going to say everyone's got to keep calm and take each game as it comes. But in moments such as this, you've got to enjoy it. They are so close, aren't they?
Yeah, I was just thinking that while I was watching him celebrate. It's nice to see he's enjoying it, and I wonder where this ranks so far in his career, because he's had such an immense playing and managerial career in a short space of time. But you can see how much it means to him and everyone. Now his job is to get ready and go again on Monday. This weekend's huge. And listen, we're all easy for us to sit here and say it's done and they're going to do it. I think everyone in here believes it, but now he has to make sure they're ready to go again.
12 clear of third place, 6 games to go, Curtis. Are they right to get carried away? I mean, the fans, it's their duty to get carried away, isn't it?
They have to dream. I think they've been there a couple of times recently. Obviously, most recently last season, losing out to Sunderland when they were the better team over 2 legs. Obviously going to Wembley to play Luton Town not long ago. So this will be their moment to actually just do it themselves and get that top 2 and make sure they're up.
Talk about getting carried away, Van Eerwijk's doing that for everyone. And there's a big smile on the face of Frank Lampard. And there were some really key performances tonight and key introductions in the course of the game. That man, Carl Rushworth, as well, was heavily involved in all of the drama. Let's get the thoughts of 2 of the match winners tonight. Jonathan Oakes, take it away.
Well done, both of you. Jack, you've come on and won this game for Coventry. How do you reflect on your part in it?
Yeah, no, it's good. You know, I've only trained like 2 days in it, so, you know, I came on, the gaffer was like, "Are you sure you got 30 in you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." But no, it's, I'm buzzing to come on and help the team. You know, I thought may have won it with the first one, but then, you know, the penalty gets given, whether it is or it's not, I don't know, but I haven't seen it, but, you know, just had to respond again, you know. That's what us front players are here to do, so, yeah, just had to chop them and put it in the bottom corner. So
Carl Rushworth did get a touch on it for the penalty, but it was the attitude, wasn't it? You just went up the other end and scored again, didn't you?
I mean, that's been us all season, really. You know, whenever we have a setback, the fight from the boys, everyone, Tank since he's come in as well. You know, it's been brilliant. So any setback, we never dwell on it. We just come fight and right back out. And you know, how many late goals and stuff have we scored to win? So it shows the spirit of the team, 100%.
Frank, your first goal for Coventry. How would you look back on it? You looked a bit stunned.
No. I just saw the keeper start to chip it. But good goal. But good goal. Yeah, I'm happy I got a goal. So I know it's the first. Many more to come.
They made you work hard for it tonight, didn't they? Or how big a win is this?
It's really big, especially when we have to fight for the title. It's a good win for us. So we just keep going.
Yeah, you've got 6 games left, Jack. You need a maximum of 8 points now. Does it feel really close?
Yeah, of course it's close. We're not going to sit here and do all the cliche stuff. It's close, so let's just win the games and get up. You know, you've been there, so hopefully I'll join you soon, and you can take us up with you. Well, no, we're staying focused, and you know, we're a good side. We believe in ourselves, so we've got to keep going, and yeah, we'll do it.
You're allowed to enjoy this, aren't you, Frank? How can you not?
Of course, we need to enjoy it. It's a big win for us, the club, the team, the players. So we have to enjoy this win.
Thank you. Well done, both of you. Frank, if you do the honours for us, please. Jack Rodoni, Sky Bet Player of the Match.
I gave it to him.
It's yours. It's yours.
A sign there of the team ethic and the fact that they're all smiles for each other. Don't worry, Jack Rodoni, keep the cliches to us. We'll start throwing them your way. That's our job, but they are very happy indeed. And the Coventry City fans, as you can hear, giving 2 key players tonight a hero's reception. And he's even getting a chance to say hello to Curtis Davies and Russell Martin and me, Jack. Jack, we could have had a word, but he's run off, hasn't he, unfortunately. Jack Rodoni, a huge part of what was so good tonight. Coming off the bench, back in the squad and back amongst the goals. Very polite young man as well, Jack Madoni, coming out to say thank you. We did pick man of the match, by the way. Here are the Good Friday results. As we saw, it kicked off with a cracker up at Borough. They lost to Millwall at home. A first win in charge of Bristol City for Roy Hodgson. 2 goals apiece between Leicester and Preston. Oxford with the battling point down at the bottom, taking on Hull City. 6 goals between Sheffield United and Swansea. West Brom were 2-0 up. Wrexham did peg them back to get a point at the Hawthorns. And then, as we've seen, a cracker to finish off. Coventry 3, Derby County 2. Here's what it does to the table. Right at the top, Coventry City, 12 clear of 3rd place. Millwall up to 2nd, Borough in 3rd, Ipswich in 4th, Hull City in 5th, and Wrexham 6th. Derby just outside the playoff places, still 4 points off the top 6. Down at the bottom, Sheffield Wednesday, of course, consigned to League One football next season. Oxford and Leicester making up the bottom 3. Pompey outside by a single point. West Brom and Blackburn and Charlton a little too close for comfort. It's been all about the EFL this Easter weekend, but don't worry, the Premier League will be back with a bang